Hello, everybody. Welcome back. YouTube.com/GeekLoud. It's 8 p.m.-ish on a Monday. So, of course, I'm here, Troy, with Steve, not on the couch, on the virtual couch. Steve, Unky Dunky himself via Discord. How are you, my friend?
Mate, I'm very, very well. What a big week in games, mate. I am pumped.
Massive. Some might argue, the biggest week in gaming in the year. Now, that would, of course, depend on your preferences for how you like to consume your gaming content. Myself, I like to start by going over the games I've been playing this week. Then I like to have a look at the standoff, the best thing that I think up against the other best thing that's happened in gaming of recent note. What is it on this week's standoff? You'll have to stick around to find out. Then we go into the news, we cover all the news, and then we wrap it up with your input into the show. Any thoughts or comments during the show, bang them into that YouTube chat. We'll certainly get to you at the end. But we start, as I was saying, number one, integration, deliberation of game one this evening. Steve, the big reveal. Any guesses from the audience? That's right, Halo. It's Halo campaign. Steve, you've been hands-on. I'll just disturb everyone and say I've only played enough to capture this here footage. First level, haven't seen a whole lot. But Steve, please, mate, tell me, how far into Halo, how many hours, what have you found?
Mate, I'm probably, it's hard to count hours, maybe 6 or 7 hours in now. And Troy, let me tell you, it's putting up Gotti vibes for me.
Look out.
It's
sound the bell. I need a bell. Ding, 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 ding. All right, the bell's up.
Returnal could have some competition from
Whoa, look out. I am going to have to invest my time in this title, clearly. What have you found, mate?
Mate, well, I'm actually, it's funny I should say that it's Returnal's got some competition because I've found with the combat, it's actually got a bit of Returnal about it.
Oh, I like the sound of this. What are you feeling?
Well, mate, the grapple hook that they've added into this game is an absolute game changer, and it lets you zip around the battlefield with ease, and you can pull off absolute badass moves and stuff. You just feel like the Master Chief. I don't know if you've read any of the books, but in the books he's a bit more of a So in the books he's a bit more of a badass than you've sort of seen in the games and stuff, especially as of late. But it actually just makes you feel like the Master Chief, and you can absolutely dominate a battlefield now. And when you've unlocked all the abilities for that grapple hook, which is my number one tip, upgrade that thing very quickly. And upgrade your shields as well, because these enemies on heroic can absolutely dish out some punishment. But don't you worry, I'm dishing it right back now. And just be able to zip behind these enemies with this thing is just absolutely incredibly fun. And just the battles you're having, it does sort of like that Returnal, just sort of get in there and zip around a battlefield and just absolutely wreak havoc. I'm absolutely loving it. The only problem I can say is because the grapple hook is so good, a lot of the other abilities they give you, I've sort of haven't felt the need to use or want to use yet.
Hold on, Ben, if I can jump on that grapple hook before we move on to the others. What I need from you, Steve, is like the honest, logical answer to this question. I can't wrap my head around it. It has, honest to God, been a blocker for me playing in this game. Why is the grapple hook on his left forearm, but to trigger it's the right shoulder button? It makes no sense to me, and it drives me up the wall. It's infuriating. I can't tell you how off-putting it has been to me, that grapple hook. I love the mobility of it. I love everything about it. But why I'm pulling the right shoulder button for a left wrist action, I have no idea.
You do make valid points there, because I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, there is other equipment you can use other than that, so maybe that's the point. But I think you can fully remap the controller and the buttons anyway. So if you want to change it, I think you can.
Every single time I use it, and if you're watching this footage, it's like my go-to move is grapple to a dude and then pistol slap him as soon as I land on him. Right here, slip in, bang. That's my move. And every single time I manually have to think left shoulder button. Right shoulder button.
And let me tell you though,
right shoulder
I don't know if you've noticed, I did figure this out today, that you actually don't have to hit the melee button when you get up there to actually melee them. If you've landed on them, you will melee them automatically. Yes.
Wow, that is a huge time saver, Steve. I've been sitting there. I've been thinking it was like Gears of War active reload. I've been waiting and trying to get my timing window in, and you tell me it's auto. I say that's a missed opportunity. Sorry, go.
And you eventually unlock a new ability for it with electricity, and like it sort of stuns them at the same time, and you come in for an even bigger hit. But for some reason I just didn't hit it, and I was like, that's an easy way to do it, because I don't have to worry about timing it to perfection.
Well, I was really enjoying the art of it, and I thought I was getting really good at it. But to find out that now it does it automatically, I don't think I was ever any good at it. I think any time it worked well, it was auto doing it.
No, because you can sort of get in there and press it whenever you like. You can cancel it. You can do whatever you want. But if you just let it go the whole distance, if you manage to hook onto someone, it will automatically do it, which I actually don't mind because it allows you to sort of get your bearings and make sure you're swapping weapons and doing all the other stuff you need to do on that controller in the heat of battle. So, you doing this mission here, this is like just evokes such like Halo Combat Evolved.
The shield power up. That first shield power up sound.
Yes. The whole game I've found is very much it's essentially like the Force Awakens of Halo. It's sort of like doing the same thing but slightly different, but better.
The opening level very much did feel like the opening level of Halo Combat Evolved. Obviously highly modernized, but you could feel the similarities. Are the other levels beyond the first level? Does it all have the nostalgia play, or is that specifically prominent in the first level?
No, it really does. Like there's another level after this one, which you're still not sort of down on Halo Ring, but once you do that bit and you hit the Halo Ring for the first time, the doors open up and you've got the open world in your face. It's just like it's awe-inspiring. It's like that first time landing on the Halo Ring in the first game, and it just makes you go back to being however old we were. About 12 years old were we when the first Halo came out? Maybe.
Oh, maybe 18, I think. But yeah, somewhere around there.
No, how do you? Oh, you haven't found this version of Katana yet, have you? In this game?
No Katana action yet for me.
No. So you pick up this thing called the Weapon, and she is obviously voiced by the same lady who does Cortana, and she's like a very new AI. So again, like the start of first Halo, where Cortana, is still new and fresh and hasn't turned evil yet.
Yes.
This one's very sort of lighthearted and the comic relief and quite funny. She's really enjoyable, and she sort of adds a bit of levity to the gameplay as well. And with Master Chief.
What level of comic relief is she up there with? I'm blanking on his name now. Stephen, someone in Portal. What, Stephen Wright? What's that dude's name?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about, Stephen.
That guy. It's not going to come to me. That guy. Ricky Gervais' good friend who did the voice of GLaDOS, and that was comic relief from AI. Now is at that level.
It's probably like that. She sort of just pops up here and there. It's not overused, but when she sort of does say stuff, it's just it's really well timed. Every time she says something, it's give me a few chuckles here and there, just with
Guardians level like
delivery
style.
Yeah, I reckon just the way it's sort of delivered and stuff. It comes out of nowhere. It just gives you a little chuckle and makes you smile. So I've been really enjoying that, and I think this is some of the best sound design I've heard in the game for a very long time. Just everything sounds good. The way the enemies sound when you hit them with your weapons, and just that. The feedback, the visual and audio is just absolutely perfect. I think they've absolutely nailed that.
It is phenomenal. And I don't know I know you're a bit more across the audio side of it, Steve. You can correct me with my terminology here, but whatever they call the advanced audio, the 3D stereo sound, whatever that is. Now, just a simple note, if you, like me, typically play off stereo speakers but have headphones, it's definitely worth the headphones and plugging into the bass controller. The audio surround, I don't know whatever that correct term is, but the surround, what's the 3D audio? What do they call that, Steve? I'm blanking on the term.
It's 3D audio. I thought it was 3D audio.
The 3D audio then is phenomenal in the headphones if you put it on. If you normally play on a TV speaker, like me, I'd love to play with the ears exposed. I find it far more comfortable. It's worth encapsulating the ears in the headphones for the audio. As you said, Steve, phenomenal sound design across the board on this one.
Oh, it's crazy. I've got it playing through just a Yamaha 5.1 surround sound with subwoofer just boosted. It just sounds absolutely incredible. But
nice.
Trying to think what else. I found my first skull as well.
Oh,
which so I found my first skull, which was on a roof.
What was the modifier? Was it the what are they? Grunts explode like confetti modifier? That was my favorite.
It wasn't. I actually haven't gone and seen what it is. I was too enamored with the fact that I actually where I did find the skull was on top of this roof, and Craig from the old E3 demo. He's been immortalized. I found like a record of his music tour, and it had songs on it, and you could flip over this record, like it had Craig's face on it, and it mentioned all the songs, and he's gone on tour for a concert that he's doing for all his music songs. I thought that was hilarious.
That's very good. I like that a lot. I wonder if they pulled a lot of, the best gags they saw, best memes, on them from back in the day.
And I've seen there's apparently a rock formation somewhere that's Craig's face as well, so I can't wait to see that as well. But just trying to think, is there anything else on this? Oh, the soundtrack as well. My God, just like I was playing Halo Collector's Edition before this. just to get myself ready. And I was like, oh, this soundtrack just kicks in at the right moments and makes you feel awesome. Like, I wonder if they'll do that stuff here. And it is in spades here. Like, it's probably the best soundtrack to Halo I've heard. They use some of the old tunes, but, beefed up. They've got the new ones, but just every time you come into a battle, they just use it so well.
They've got that swell of orchestral music. They've just nailed it perfectly. It's so good.
Oh, so, mate, you've seen nothing yet. I just need you to play this game. This is the best first-person shooter I've played in a very long time. And
I honestly can't wait, man. But as I said last week, I'm just trying to clean up a few odds and ends, and we will get to it later. But I've cleared my plate, mate. Next week, I'm all about it.
No, that's fair. And just the whole being able to like go in the open world, and you do the solo missions where you're sort of, a bit more tight and compact, so like these areas, but then being able to go back out into that open world. And if you get bored with sort of some of the exploration and open world stuff, then you go into your story missions. It's just a really good balance, and you can sort of take it at your own pace as well. So
awesome.
Mate, I can't say too many nice things about this game.
And 2 big thumbs up, mate. You've sold me on it. I'm keen. I was already keen, but I'm still keen. The big question for me, mate, is there any crossover at all between the multiplayer and the campaign? Obviously, there'd be assets map-wise, but I'm talking narratively if they tied them together.
Narratively, not so much yet. There is unlocks for your Spartan armor and stuff in this game. So hidden throughout the map, you can find Mjolnir armor unlocks and stuff, and they might be a new core, they might be new skin, they might be new paint job for a weapon. So they're all hidden out. So they unlock all your stuff for your multiplayer Spartan. So it's not a bad way to do it. How you can go through the single player campaign and unlock stuff. The only caveat with that is there is a well-known glitch at the moment that if you use fast resume or quick resume in Halo, there's a glitch that anything that you've unlocked in the campaign won't actually show up in your multiplayer like locker yet. So they 343 are aware of it, and they are going to fix it. And there will be like a retrospective like adding of all the stuff you've unlocked in the game. So that's just a small sort of gripe that
I've got to say, Steve, for that one is embarrassing for Microsoft. Like, that is a Microsoft first-party product. Quick resume is like a selling feature of the Xbox Series X. And to get that implementation wrong on that key sort of marketing feature, I know. They are embarrassed by that. Even if they haven't said anything public, that's a huge embarrassment for them.
I know, because so I couldn't actually get into my locker to sort of have a look. And I'm like, it's because I've used quick resume. So I rebooted the game. You can actually get into my locker, but I can't see any of the stuff that I've unlocked as far as I'm aware. So I haven't dug too deep, but I have unlocked quite a few things in the campaign for multiplayer. So, but as I said, I'm not going to probably stop playing the campaign to play multiplayer until I've finished it for the first time anyway. So
that's interesting. You're all in. I assumed you were jumping into your dailies and getting bonus XP for the battle pass.
I should be, but no, I'm too into the campaign. Like, I've chucked it on.
That's huge, man. That's huge. That's more praise. Yeah. If it's taking you off the multiplayer as well, man, I like it. I respect that. I can't wait to get in. Is there any particular highlights that I need to look out for in the first sort of 6 to 7 hours of gameplay, or just enjoy?
Just enjoy. Don't want to spoil anything. I reckon spend your time going out and just exploring Halo when you get there on the ring, just to find your Spartan cores, upgrade your hookshot ability and your shield. Because if you, I don't know, did you take my advice and start playing on heroic? Or
I meant to say it before. I have, and can I turn it back down? I had so many attempts. Like, this is the first level, but I reckon this was the end of 2 hours of playing. The first bit with the weapons, I could not wrap my head back into the sort of, I don't know, Halo's kind of this really good conservative midpoint for a shooter. It's not constantly push the enemies back Call of Duty style, like constantly stop the spawn waves by getting further forward, that Call of Duty. It's not that, and it's not hang back like Battlefield where any headshot's game over. It's this really interesting mid-ground, but I don't think I've played a game in this first-person space in the mid-ground in recent history. The last one I can think of would be like Wolfenstein 2, but that was a couple of years ago. Like,
this sort of mixes up like Doom as well. Like,
it's been a long time since we've had a first-person shooter like this, and I absolutely dig it. But I do need to get back into it, and I need to get over the right shoulder button does something on my left wrist. I just need to get over it.
Just try that shoulder let's just try the controller remapping. Then I reckon it might fix you. Because I'm pretty sure a right bumper in the other Halos is grenade, so I don't blame you for it.
It's crazy. All right. Now we'll move on. If you're done with Halo, Steve.
Yeah, I'm done. The only thing I'm going to say is let's call it possibly game of the year. We'll see how we go.
Oh, I love it, man. I'm going to play through this campaign next week on the show. Oh, we should say next week on the show, next Monday the 20th. It's our big end of year game of the year spectacular. Next week's all about game of the year stuff. So I have to have played through and finished Halo by then. I've got my work cut out for me, but I'm up for it. Steve, do we know loosely anywhere? Has anybody given us an average time to complete the campaign? 16 hours, something?
I think 15 hours. Apparently, if you just sort of mainline the main story, which I don't think you'd be enjoying the game, so most of us you could probably do it maybe 6 or 7 if you just do the story missions.
Well, that's never going to be me. But I will back it off to easy if I can. Oh, not easy, excuse me, normal, because I put it on heroic, as you suggested, but I'm not man enough for it. I've got to flick it back to normal if I can, and then play through it this week so it can be in full game of the year conversations next week. But
do it.
I will indeed. Thank you, my friend. All right, now, game 2 this week, we are looking at Call of Duty. Now, as everyone remembers, I'm doing 1 mission per week. So this is mission 3 of Call of Duty. And I've got to say, once again, Steve, it took me about 50 minutes to complete, and it was just the perfect snack food. If you liked 24 back in the days, where I'm going to go to with this analogy,
yes.
a good 40 minutes of intense action and a little bit of narrative plotted along the way. Call of Duty now lights me up the way 24, the TV show, did back in the day. It's short, it's concise, but look at this, Steve. In this mission specifically, and I know you're on a delay, but what I love about this third mission, they spend the first bit walking you through the city one day with no pressure, no time constraints. It's just another day in, I don't know where we are, Stalingrad or something, and you're going to work as a nurse in the thing. And then, of course, it does the big turnaround pivot point. What do they call it? A pincer move, I believe, the pincer. Thanks to, oh, God, Stephen Blake and Christopher Nolan's last film. What was that one?
Yep.
Tenet.
Tenet. That's it.
Just like in Tenet, you can see here I'm moving forward through the level. Now, you've got to remember that in this level, it's like the war is the character. So don't worry too much about my avatar as such. But if you take it as the opening of this level is getting a feel for this character in normal times, there's checkpoints and everything, but there's no chaos as such.
So why is she on a roof?
Well, it's just there's too many checkpoints in the city, and she doesn't want to show her papers everywhere, so she legs it over the roof to avoid all the checkpoints, so she can get to her work on time. Which you're just about to see here. You're a nurse, and then it turns to chaos, as you could imagine, Steve. The bombing run happens, hellfire, and then you scurry back, but you go straight back over all the roof and everything you just saw. So honestly, man, if you enjoyed the Tenet film, this mission 3 of Call of Duty Vanguard is going to give you serious Tenet vibes.
I'm going to tell you, I haven't actually seen Tenet yet.
I know. You've got to watch it. That is such a good film. That is up there, man. Oh, see that film and then watch this. Oh, my gosh. You're going to love this mission, Steve, but I know you're picking it up. You're getting your hands on it when you come into the studio.
I am.
When you do it, mate, do me a favor, play it paused. At least give yourself just 1 mission a day. Don't do any more than 1 mission a day. And before you do mission 3, make sure you watch Tenet, man. You're going to get so much more out of the playthrough by having it. But this game continues to impress me. It continues to do stuff that I haven't seen Call of Duty bother to do before. I'm just absolutely loving this Call of Duty game. It's one of the best. They've got emotional resonance in this level. There's some serious emotional beats they hit. I haven't put them in here. I've cut around them so nothing's spoiled. But there are things that matter of great consequence. And I'm not saying it got me anywhere near tearing up or anything of this nature, but there is certainly emotional resonance. I love the way they're reusing the game level, the assets, the way what was friendly a minute ago, this glass roof, and now, the bombing run. They've turned into a platformer, Steve. They deleted the platform in front of me. I had to sidestep and almost ended poorly.
I was going to say, what you're saying is you still haven't finished this level then.
I did manage to get through the level, but I got to tell you, man, what they're throwing at me and the narrative, this is hitting like no narrative has hit me in a Call of Duty, I would argue, ever before. I honestly think from a narrative standpoint, and once again, keeping in mind, I'm not talking about any individual character here. I'm talking about the character is the war. The story is the war. Yeah. And it's a phenomenal story, well told. I get great appreciation for sort of daily life in this mission. It's daily life in a war when you're not on the front line, and then what happens when that front line comes to you. It's just amazing, man.
Well, I am a World War
really
fan,
good.
so just watching your gameplay here just makes me want to play this game even more. So, what's your favourite mission so far? You've played 3 now.
Honestly, this mission that you're looking at right now, they have progressively been getting better. Like the first one I enjoyed, the second one I really enjoyed, and this third one is the best yet. Every week they're impressing me more with what they're doing with this story. And Steve, I can finally tell you, they're starting to tie the narrative together. We are coming back to these characters, and now I think they're a band of misfits, somewhat like Suicide Squad, but they're not bad guys. They're good guys, but they're still a group of misfit good guys. And the story is starting to tie itself together. As I said, I'm only 3 missions in. That's gone to black. We need to move on. Game number 3 is I Expect You to Die 2, Steve. Now, this is a VR treat. I don't know if you played number 1, man, but it's all James Bond themed.
I haven't. Troy. I reckon we hold it there, because I reckon we might just do a tourist on this one and we'll show this game more than tell. I reckon we show more than tell for this one.
Okay, well, this is a VR game that I love very much, but Steve's going to do a tourist on it. So we'll jump off. That's I Expect You to Die 2. That'll be on next week's show. No more spoilers, though. All right, number 4, moving on. Steve, we're rapid firing now. This is Spider-Man Remastered on the PS5, and what we're looking at right here is the new suits. Now, I hope you know things, Steve, because it had been a while since I played, and it said there were 5 new suits, but I'm not sure that I got all the right ones on screen. So please, mate, tell me what you know.
That's all right. I totally forgot when I bought Miles Morales when I first got my PS5 that I got a code for the PlayStation 5 version of
the Ultimate Edition.
I totally forgot, and I'd never played it. And I remember seeing the new looking Peter Parker, which they brought out with the this remaster, and I was like, oh, I should probably give it a go. And I've reinstalled it just because all this buzz about Spider-Man at the moment. We're going to see the new Spider-Man movie on Saturday. Spider-Man's in Fortnite, like he's everywhere at the moment. So I thought it was the time to put it back on.
There's a new Spider-Man film out.
It's coming out Saturday. Oh, it's out this week. Yeah,
awesome. I'm excited about that. Sorry, keep going.
That's all right. No, just a little bit on that. It's got, it's the new one. It's got all the different. Look, it's going to have the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man in the movie. It's got the old Green Goblin coming back. It's got Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2 in it, mate. This looks good.
I assume Nathan Drake's going to be in
it. No, Nathan Drake's not going to be in it, unfortunately.
No Tom Holland? No Tom Holland?
No Tom Holland, not at all.
What?
No, he's in it. No, he's in it.
Oh,
just not the Nathan Drake version of him. Anyway, so the game. I've chucked this game, and what a game this is! Like, it is so beautiful to play this game and swing around as Spider-Man. I'd forgotten how good it was, and I played on the PS4 Pro back when it came out. But on the PS5, This thing absolutely sings. My God, it's a good game.
It really does, man. It's such a joy to play.
Oh my God, my little fella's been loving it, and I've been teaching him to swing around and watching his joy on his face as he swings around the city. He's actually doing these little things where you follow the cat that I can see on the screen right now.
Yes.
But the new suits just added, like, I think a couple of days ago from the new movie. You get 2 from the new movie, and there's a whole bunch of new suits you get as well. It's got, I think his suits from the last 2 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland as well are in the game as well for free.
Didn't it already have it? But if you look here, the 5th one back, that one, not that one, 2 to the left of that one, isn't that the... It looks like the original, 2002 Spider-Man suit.
It is, yeah.
But I thought they put that in there a year ago. I don't know what I was thinking. I honestly thought a year ago I was playing with that suit from the original film, but then to see it in there now, I'm like, what was I doing?
Yeah, I don't know. But just this game, like just going through it, just the open world in this gets me so excited for Spider-Man 2, the game with Miles Morales and Venom and all that, because this open world city they've created in this thing, just coming off playing even Halo, this game looks absolutely incredible. The city they've created, the missions you've got, this game just keeps throwing more and more things at you. Just when you think it's Ubisoft, the crap out of it, even more Ubisoft, so you find more missions to unlock and there's more things to do, but they're actually quite fun and quite different from each other. And I'd forgotten how much variety there was actually in the side missions, which is a testament to why I platinumed it in the first place. So I'm tempted to even maybe go back and platinum it on the PS5 now. So
Oh, that would be tempting, man. They all pop for me. If it didn't automatically pop, I would have been tempted myself. But I got that auto pop. But
yeah, I know. I think you have to have the PS. You have to do something to get that to work, or something. You have to have the PS4 save file or something on there.
There's a rigmarole, and not only that, on the Geek Aloud channel, we show you how to import that save.
There you go. So, but I was. It's probably just as well, because if I actually had my save file from the PS4 to the PS5, I probably wouldn't be enjoying just swinging around, sort of just taking on random enemies. Going back through the story and all that stuff through this, I'd actually forgotten some story beats and stuff. So being able to go back through and play that again has actually been really enjoyable. So if you want sort of a good Christmas game, it's quite cheap at the moment. Pick up Spider-Man Remaster for your PS5, because this game's absolutely
have you got a price for us, Steve?
Awesome.
Because the last time I heard, this game was only available by buying the Ultimate Edition of Miles Morales. So if they're selling it individually now, that's awesome. Fantastic.
Or I don't have a price for you, but I know it's definitely cheap. So I saw it in the shops the other day, quite cheap. So definitely pick it up. You won't you won't be disappointed if you pick this game up this Christmas. So
you certainly won't be. And the other thing you won't be disappointed with, now I'll apologize in advance because I think I started in black, but it's black. Fire the editor. That's me. Is the Matrix experience, Steve. It's officially called the Matrix Awakens Unreal 5 experience. Now, I did the install video on the channel today. I think I tried to say the name 8 times and didn't get it right once. So but I've fired it up. I checked it out. I was stoked and surprised. I didn't realize we were going to be able to control any of it, Steve. Have you gone hands-on? Did you play it?
I have.
Okay, well, let me just give me the quick one, then pass it over to you. So just quickly, for those at home who don't know, you jump in quick. It's like an opening video cutscene, and I don't know how much of a video or the whole thing's CG. It's still a mystery to me. It looks so realistic. Maybe some of it's real. I have no idea. Bit of deep faking. They age Neo and... I can't remember. Trinity, thank you, Trinity. They age Neo and Trinity, the actors. But then it goes into gameplay. It's a little like shooting out the window car chase, but you're the passenger shooting at tires. And then it jumps you into the open world, and it looks phenomenal. Steve, what were your impressions?
Mate, that whole cut. Well, firstly, actually, you start off where you just like whether it's real or just real or unreal. 5 at the start, like I think it might have been real at some point, but the fact that it turns to Unreal Engine 5 at one point and you're still questioning it is like, it's pretty damn impressive what we're looking at here.
It is phenomenal. I still don't know. Like I'm looking at Keanu Reeves right now, and it's modern Keanu Reeves. It's how he looks today. But is that Keanu Reeves on video, or is that an Unreal interpretation of the 3D model? I honestly have no idea.
That's right. And then when it goes into that car chase scene, and even it's like it's minimal gameplay and stuff, but oh my God, my jaw hit the floor and it stayed that way the whole time. I was just like, is this real? Like, if they can have games that look this good throughout their entirety, we're in for a bloody treat for the rest of this generation or next generation if games are going to look this good with Unreal 5.
We are in for a treat, and there is by no coincidence that today we went from the Spider-Man world of how good that looked directly into the Matrix Awakens trailer here. Because I got to say, when we get the in-game, in-city, on-foot footage, if you compare that to Spider-Man, it is phenomenal. Like, as good as Spider-Man is, you can't believe what they're pulling off in the Matrix Awakens. Open world, city view.
It's scary though to think that this thing's 26-ish gig, and it's just a tech demo. Like it's a bit scary to think how big game sizes and file size is going to be.
I don't know, Steve,
because they get a full game.
We've got a fair bit of size of an open world city there, man. Like we have so many assets in that demo. I don't think it's too overwhelming. Like if you consider they've got, what would it be? One borough from Saints Row, maybe, if we're sizing it up as a 3D world. Like they've got one borough in 23 gig, but there would be so much of what's needed to play a game in there, man. We're not that far off a full game, I don't think.
Yeah, true. And I'd like to see this thing, come to fruition as a full game. I'm not sure if they've actually said whether it is sort of part of a game, but
it's phenomenal. I've got no idea. Did you play, Steve? Did you see the Matrix filter? You could turn off the Matrix look.
I didn't actually. I just literally read that probably just before, maybe 15 minutes before we went to air, that there is like a filter you can turn off and on. Apparently, if you turn it off, it makes it look even better.
If you watch it, so you're playing it and it's the Matrix Awakens experience and it's got that green sort of hue to it that the Matrix has. You turn it off and you are suddenly in every other open world 3D game that you've ever played, the best looking version of it. Like, you just look like, oh, now I'm playing San Andreas or now I'm playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But the resolution, the quality, the one I'll say, man, when it gets up here a bit further in, even the city the sidewalk, the concrete sections, if you look at the various types of concrete walking down a city block, now I know that sounds stupid and minute, but you look at it in the detail they've gone to, like you can stand on one spot in the city street and look in every direction and no two footpaths look alike. It's phenomenal.
Mate. It's incredible. And like the fact you can change the day and night whenever you like as well.
And the other big one, sorry, you're right, the matrix filter on and off, but you can also do like the polygon view, you can do the name view, you can do all that. And then and it's like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, you hit the select button on the Master Chief Collection and it does like old graphics, new graphics. You can do that essentially, but with like object IDs or not heat mapping, but I can't remember all the terms, but they had all their other terms and you could just cycle between and it would be the real simulated real-time view. The most phenomenal tech demo I've ever played with. It's so cool. If you haven't I should also know it's available on the Xbox Series X as well. So,
which is where I tried it out.
Oh, there you go. And what you're looking at here is footage I captured off the PlayStation 5 version. But as I understand, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, there is no past generation version available. It's only for the new generation consoles.
I would expect there's no way the old generations could even go close to running this. So I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have thought so either. But just the way they look, those character models, the way they talk, I don't know what sort of... It's got to be AI at this point, mouth mapping, like the words.
Yeah.
But that AI has gotten so advanced. Like if you think of the old, like, what was it, like mid-2000s, we had the original Mafias coming out, Mafia and Mafia 2.
Yeah. Yep.
And their lip syncing was the worst. Like, and that was maybe, 15 years ago at this point? Absolutely outrageous lip syncing. And now you look at it in this and you're honestly questioning, is this handcrafted or is this real? Like, it's so bizarre. It's phenomenal. It's such a good experience. If you haven't played it, go play it, is what I'm saying. It is like watching this now doesn't do it justice because you're not playing it and seeing that.
It doesn't.
Because like just the small things, like you move the right stick at any time and there's no latency, there's no screen tearing, there's nothing. It's like this insanely highly detailed world that's buttery smooth. And it doesn't matter how many things you explode or whatever, like it doesn't take a hit to the frame rate. It's so cool.
I can't wait. Like, I think, as far as I know, there's a studio, the Coalition, the guys that do Gears of War, the most recent Gears of War, their next game, apparently, whether it's Gears of War or not, is using Unreal Engine 5. So I can't wait to see what they're doing with that.
This is just, I am so excited for that and this is great. I think this is so cool. I'm getting
goosebumps just rewatching your gameplay here.
Oh my God, I can't wait till imagine we were doing like The Last of Us 3 in this level of detail or something. Like,
no, don't even.
The possibilities are endless, people. Like, the future is now. Get your hands on this demo and get excited for the future of gaming. That's my opinion.
Damn straight, got to do it.
Woo! Oh, speaking of the future of gaming, here's one that was in some headlines this week, Steve. Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I finally finished it. I finally got it off my plate. I saw the end. I rolled credits. And I love my time with it. I should note this is about the third to last boss fight. I didn't want to put the last boss fight on because it's so special. And
it is a good boss fight, eh?
I just didn't want to spoil it by putting it on here. So this is the third last boss fight. Minor narrative spoiler, but I don't think it's anything too offensive, but you can see how cool it looks. And if this in any way looks appealing to you, I can't speak it up highly enough. That last boss fight is phenomenal, but you should really experience it yourself. It's so beautiful. The way they turn the world, as Steve was sort of alluding to last week, gets really snowy, and then and then the world is saved. It's so beautiful. It's such a good game.
I just really like the way they took your things away from you, the rot away from you, and you slowly get them back. Like, I don't want to say too much, but it worked really nice with the story. You just sort of went from feeling like helpless to like, at the end, you just feel like, oh, I'm going to absolutely destroy this guy when you finally got your little guys back.
Yes, it's funny. You develop such an emotional connection to the rot throughout the game. When you lose them, it's really impactful. And I would almost say it hit me more losing the rot in this game than my horse dying in RDR2. Spoilers for RDR2.
Agreed.
But I think they did it more impactfully in Kenna. Oh, while we speak of the rot, Steve, I finally have the clip. Here is my suggestion to Ember Labs for the navigation update, either in this one or maybe for Bridges of Spirits 2. But here it is, Steve. I'll finally roll it full screen. You can still hear us under it, though. I just want to add that. Just the rot, gather them, and make it an arrow. I'm not suggesting it should actually be red in the game. I'm going to let it loop and play again. I'm not saying that footage, they should be red. I'm just saying that shape, they should be using the rot around you. You know, you hit the trackpad or whatever to get a guide up, and bang, out comes the rot and points you in the right direction. I think that would be a lot cooler than at the end of this clip that's looping, you can see their little gold sparkly thing like jump up and run off. I think
it's a great idea.
I think they could use the rot to a far more effective use there in that. That's just my suggestion for Kenna Bridge of Spirits, but much love to that game. Much love to that game. Huge fan.
Mate, the sequel to this game is going to be huge, I think.
Oh, can you imagine if they throw them a huge budget? Like, how are they not going to get a huge budget off the back of that and then unleash these guys with a huge budget? I cannot wait. Give them as much runway as they want, 4 or 5 years. I don't care how long it takes. Give them the budget. Let them craft Bridge of Spirits 2, however they see fit. They have my attention. Well earned. Now, Steve, shall we wrap it up with Game 7 for the evening, shall we?
Let's do it. We've saved the heavy hitter for last.
Here it is, guys, the one you've all been waiting for. Lawnmower Simulator. We finally sat down with it on the channel. We went hands on controllers and we trimmed some lawns. Just a quick note, this one's through Xbox Game Pass. If you've got Xbox Game Pass, you too could be trimming lawns in the virtual sense. Steve, as I understand it, this was the game that broke in your new 120 frames per second monitor. Is that correct?
It is, mate. It's the first game I put on there. It was quite random, but I was like, I need to cut some lawns in 120 frames, 77 inches of goodness. And I did. Just inside baseball, I do really love mowing the lawn. So this game in IRL, so just being able to do it in a game, like, it's not quite the same. You don't get quite the same gratification. And to be honest, Troy, I found it quite hard even during the tutorial to get it right. They're telling me my blades are down the wrong way. My engine starts overheating. I'm like, I don't need to deal with it. I was going to use just let me push a little general mower. I need to sit on something with a motor and a steering wheel to cut this lawn.
Too technically advanced for you, Steve. You want the what is it? Oh gosh, I can't remember the name. Where they trim the plants in the little pots.
I know what you're talking
Whatever
about.
that is, Steve, that might be more your pace, mate. Just scissors and a little plant. Maybe that's more.
Yeah, that's right.
We need whatever that is, simulator.
Karate Kid did it.
Whatever the tree trimming simulator. That's what you need.
I do. And Troy, tell me, I saw that you can actually use your steering wheel with this. Tell me about that experience.
Yes, for anybody who checked out the Let's Install, you'll see, although not officially supported by it, if you have your control there, you need the controller, like this typical controller, to get through the menus and hit A. Anytime the menu comes up and you have to hit A, you have to do it on that other controller. But if you've got a USB steering wheel plugged in, you can use it to drive. And I'm going to say, Steve, it is the most fun I've had mowing the lawn.
Oh, love it.
It was just a ridiculous amount of fun. Honestly, though, it just made me appreciate what they're doing in Forza so much more. The high-speed pressure. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I have it as a reference point. But honestly, I don't think I'll be booting Lawn Simulator up again. But definitely something you should play at some point in your gaming life. You've got to play it at some point just to get
so, mate,
an appreciation for it.
They got the sound effects down pat. Like, it actually sounds like you are on a ride on Mower. And I was like, I was in the world, mate. I was living that.
Oh, you and I both. And the other thing I'll note is the passing traffic. Did you note that? They also have, you just saw it then on 3. The car can drive past in the street and they've got the audio that goes past with it. They have paid a lot of attention to detail. And if you happen to accidentally hit a flower, they dock your score. I don't know if you noticed that, Steve, but I docked a few score points as I was hitting some flowers.
Oh, I didn't. Like, I would like an arcade version of this game. This game seems too simulator for me. Like, I want like something simple where I can just ride around and just, maybe just like goat simulator the hell out of this thing. Just give me a lawn and just.
So this is the mainline Forza, and what you're saying is you want the lawn simulator Horizon.
Yeah, I want lawn simulator Horizon. You've heard it here first. Playground Games, make it for me.
I love it. Perfect. All right. Now, other vehicles in games. That'll bring us into the standoff this week, Steve. Who will fight? This week is best use of air vehicles in game. So this is all me, air vehicles in game. Here we are, Breakpoint. You see, they shot the tail off my helicopter right as I crested the peak of the mountain, and I was able to just pull over, get out before the second missile comes in, boom, and takes out the whole team. So that was a bit of fun. That was Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Bit of fun there in the helicopter. Then I have for you Battlefield 2042. Now, this is jumping onto a helicopter, but then riding it into the air and killing it, bashing it to death with my special operator's shield. As you can see right here, and a kaboosh. There goes the helicopter, and then I skydive back in and get one of their mates with the shield as well. I say that is an excellent use of a helicopter in game. Third and final is coming into the strip in Las Vegas before they've unlocked it. So the FBI have blocked off the Las Vegas strip there, and I'm just abandoning the jet. So I run in, pick up the pedestrians' cash, and head into the casino to put all my money on black, I think it was that time. There we have it, Steve. Best use of an air vehicle in game. Who do you want to give it to? Call of Duty? No, it wasn't Call of Duty. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Excuse me. Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Call of Duty, and now I'm blanking on the middle one. Battlefield 2042.
G.E.A. San Andreas. Give me a sec. I'm slightly behind. I've just got your Battlefield one there. I'm about to see G.E.A. San Andreas.
Oh, yes.
But I did like the Ghost Recon one that you destroyed your whole crew, but you did land the helicopter nicely. It is harder to jump out of a flying aeroplane than it is to jump out of a helicopter, and you've managed to do that in Vegas, essentially, and then go gambling while leaving an aeroplane in the street.
Flaming on the strip.
I reckon in terms of pure skill alone, I'm going to have to give it to Troy, my man CJ. I think being able to land a plane on a and then go gambling straight after.
CJ! All right.
No doubt. It goes Recon, you're wearing a whole bunch of gear. CJ's wearing a singlet and lowrider jeans, so he's going to have to get the win tonight.
CJ, a winner is you, my friend. All right. That's beautiful. Now, let's bring news. First up in the news, it is the Game Awards 2021 winners, the full list. Steve, did you watch the awards, mate? What were your thoughts?
I saw bits and pieces here and there. I saw some of the awards. I've gone through and sort of since had a look at who won some of our things. After last week, we were predicting who we think might win some of these things, and I think we got some of them right, some of them wrong. I think there was a few surprises as well, but all in all, it was a good show, I think.
It was a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. Did it feel like more advertising this year, or was that just me being cynical? I felt like there was a lot more paid inserts.
It did feel like a lot of ads and stuff throughout the show, and a lot of the game trailers and stuff kind of you just feel like they're just put in there as ads as well. Obviously, very high paying ads, and that's what most people are there to actually watch these shows. I think the sort of main thing I could sort of pull out of is that I think a lot of people come to this show not so much for the awards, which is kind of sad. They come there they're there to see the announcements and new game trailers and stuff like that, which is what it's known for now. And Jeff Kelly sort of built his thing on being able to show games that we haven't seen before, and that's why people are watching it. But at the end of the day, they are a show to, award people who have made these games and worked hard on them their awards for the year. So I think if we just go through the list now of
yes.
who took out these the awards for the night.
We will, but one observation I'll share with you first, more of a question I've got for you, Steve. Just put on your television production hat for a minute. You're directing the show, okay? Mm-hmm. Think about it. You're directing the show. Someone's been awarded an award, so you cut to what, the audience reaction shot? That
Probably
would make
not.
Well, typically they cut to the audience reaction shot, and they did it this year as well for the Game Awards. The only problem was the audience all had masks on, so there was no reaction. So we just cut to audience mask shots. I don't know, like, if you're going to shoot an award show with masks, keep it in mind in your shot sequence. They're not good reaction shots. Go find someone without a mask. That'd be my tip. Anyway,
I'll just probably have just the winner is like the director or whatever, the winner of the game, probably just tell them to take their mask off in advance and just they cut to you.
That'd be a thought. Maybe some thought could have gone into that. I don't know. Just reaction shots where you can't read the reaction. Kind of pointless to me, and it was half the show. All right, Game of the Year winner. It Takes Two, Steve. Tip of the cap.
Oh, mate.
Thank goodness.
I'm so proud of this little game. Like, if
the little game that
probably would have killed myself. The little game that could, mate. It Takes Two. What a deserving winner. Like, I've actually rethought about this. I'm like, I was putting it even higher on my list of games of the year and stuff as well. I'm thinking it could potentially take out my game of the year if I, think about things differently. But the amount of fun we had playing this game and how good a game it is.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a big, like, the game is long. It's only co-op, but if you've got someone to play with, the mechanics in this game, it's throwing essentially different type of game at you every single level and nails the mechanics in every single one. Yes,
absolutely, man. Big props.
Like, absolutely deserving winner. I'm so happy to see that it won. I can't say enough good things about It Takes Two. Just glad to beat Deathloop. Thank you.
Yes, thank goodness. There would have been tears. I tell you, when Deathloop... we'll get there in a second. All right, best game direction. Here we go. The winner was Deathloop. Now, when they announced that the winner for best game direction was Deathloop, I silently said to myself, man, I hope that's their makeup award for not winning Game of the Year. And it turns out it was. So thank goodness.
Turns out it was. Like, yes, the game, it does actually have good direction, I think, in terms of what they're trying to do with the story and how it works. I think it does sort of hand feed you a little bit too much in that story. Like, it doesn't really give you much sort of cadence to sort of work it out yourself. It's sort of always telling you where to go, but the way they sort of work the levels with the day-night cycle, and you've got to do this in that thing to do this in that, I think they're onto something. I think maybe Deathloop 2 might be able to sort of do it a little bit better, and the fact that people know how to play that game again, there's not quite so many nag screens telling you how to actually play the game all the time.
Here's an idea. Encapsulate the idea you're trying to convey into a gameplay element that I can interact with. Just a thought.
Agreed. But I would have liked to see Returnal take out best game direction. I think that as well was good. And I think the levels and stuff in Psychonauts 2 actually could have led itself to actually winning that as well. But Deathloop had to win that because it wasn't winning game of the year. So
thank goodness that is indeed a win. Now, best narrative, tip of the cap. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Great pick.
Yeah,
great
slow clap for Marvel's Guardians. What a story that was. It was up against quite a few good games, stories and stuff as well. But I think Marvel's, pretty sure I tipped it to win, or at least I wanted it to win last week.
Yes.
And very happy to see it get an award here. It's probably one of my favorite games of the year. So
I'm right there with you, man. That was a great outcome. Then best art direction. Winners Deathloop. Now, that's a legit win. I did like the art style of Deathloop.
The art style was good. It's got that sort of old 80s Bond sort of kind of vibe to it. It's good. I mean, Keen and Bridge of Spirits being the fact that it's, was absolutely gorgeous, and I think the art was very nice in that as well.
That's a good point, man. That is a good point.
And Psychonauts as well, just the creativity and the level design they had with each level being so different and so out. I don't know how much Psychonauts 2 you've played, but each level has its own theme, and just absolutely nail it.
We have to have a conversation, Steve. If I had to prioritize either Psychonauts 2 or the Halo Infinite campaign to complete before we had our Game of the Year discussions, which one should I play?
Oh, I'm going to say Halo, but...
Very good. We'll go in that direction.
But Psychonauts 2, definitely no slouch when it comes to level design and gameplay. Just, I'm happy Deathloop won. I mean, yeah.
Perfect.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Best score music goes to Near Replicant. Now, I didn't even boot up Near Replicant, so no comment from me on that front.
I did. I actually really liked this game. I don't mind the Nier games, and the soundtrack is absolutely epic. And it's kind of got that Halo sort of, orchestral vibe to it as well. So it's very epic, and it's something you could very easily listen to, and it does sort of, elevate the gameplay just with the score itself. But I mean, I kind of thought maybe.
I'm such an 80s guy. Marvel's Guardians is still a better soundtrack.
I was going to say, Marvel's, mate, if you're an 80s fan, you need to play the Artful Escape then. That thing is like 80s, guitar.
I don't even know what the Artful Escape is.
Oh, mate, it's on Game Pass, I'm pretty sure. It's
now we're talking.
2D side-scrolling. I wouldn't even really call it a game. It's more of an experience. So there's not much you really have to do. It's kind of a platformer you roll through, but you can just sort of play guitar whenever you want. If you want just an experience you can play in like a couple of hours and finish it, mate, give the Artful Escape a go. That's got some really good art direction and very good sound and an amazing score. Obviously, it was nominated in the score thing, but mate, awesome game.
Is it good for a few gamer score? A quick gamer score?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
All right. We'll consider it on the list then.
Put it on the list, mate.
Best audio design winner, Forza Horizon 5. I got to say, I do like the way the cars go vroom in that game.
Oh, the cars go vroom very nicely. It's a shame that Halo's wasn't out in time for this, because I think the audio design in Halo is impeccable. But
yes.
But Forza Horizon 5, yeah, it does. They put a lot of work into the cars and the sounds individually, and it was a lot of recording time, I'm sure, in the studio trying to get all those sounds right. And very, very nice sounding game. But yeah, as I said, if Halo was eligible for this, I'd be giving that the win.
Here's a question for you, Steve. Do you reckon Halo has any chance of picking up Game of the Year next year at the Game Awards?
Oh, potentially, if they can keep. I mean, the content for it is going to sort of drip feed during the year, and I think the fact that we're going to get a co-op update sort of May next year, sort of, people will start talking about it again, the conversation will start coming out about Halo again. So I think it may have the legs to get up next year, but next year is an absolutely huge year. Even February alone is a massive month for games. So we've got like Elden Ring and stuff coming out. So it might have that, factor where it has come out too late in the year here. And we might have forgotten about it by then. And yeah, so you got the recency bias of like things that are new are always better. So it's going to be hard for it, I think. But I think you might see it in some of these categories. Like you might see it get up for best audio design next year.
Yeah, it'll be good if
stuff
it does.
Like that. It would be. So, but I mean, you never know. So some of these games could fizz. Halo's already out and it's good. These games aren't out yet, so they're unknown quantities yet. So they could also fail. You never know.
Great point, man. Great point. Next up, we had best performance. The winner was Resident Evil Village. Which was fine. I don't know. I didn't any standout performance. I didn't. I'm just trying to think. I don't recall any performances during the year that were jaw dropping to me.
No,
other than the Matrix Spirits Awakens on the Unreal Engine 5. Whoa, did that perform well?
I know, right? No, the performance of Maggie. I think she was the big, tall vampire.
Yeah, the 9-foot giant vampire.
Demetriscu, whatever.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I just find it weird that she wasn't in the game that long. She was in the start of that game, and that was about it, really.
Oh, well, in her defense, I think she was a shapeshifter, so you could make an argument that she was in every scene of the game.
You could make that argument. I don't think it's a good one.
You'd have to be an idiot to present it, but you could.
I think Erica Moore, I played the Life is Strange. I actually thought the Life is Strange was such a good game on the back of that main actress's performance throughout that game. So I probably would have gone with Life is Strange for that. But anyway, it is what it is.
Oh, for a sideways, sorry, mate, total aside here, but Game Awards performances, I didn't realise that the tester lady from Mythic Quest is the actress for Tiny Tina's Wonderland. That was news to me.
Hey, she's the main actress for Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Bingo as well.
Is that same? I had no idea that actress was that actress.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things I love about it. I was like, oh, that's her. Because I think even in her room in the show, she's got a statue of Aloy from Horizon in there as well as like a little Easter egg.
That's hilarious, man. That is so cool. I had no idea.
Yeah. And she's tiny. And she plays. She's also the pregnant lady in The Last of Us 2.
Pregnant lady in The Last. Really?
Yep.
From the boat area where you're going around the boat. Wow. Okay. My goodness. I need to, do some more research, clearly. All right, Games for Impact winner, Life is Strange, True Colors. You're the only one that played it, Steve. Did it impact you?
It did, mate. This game was pretty special in terms of story and stuff. Like, obviously, you don't play Life is Strange games for their gameplay because there's not that much of it. It's kind of essentially a walking simulator with a few gameplay mechanics weaved in and out. But the story carries all the way through, and it's got a very impactful story. Obviously, it sort of depends on some of the choices you make throughout that game as to what that impact plays at the end. I played it pretty well and got probably the best possible ending, so I was very happy with the way I played it.
Is there any temptation to replay it and deliberately go another route to see how it unfolds, or is it not that?
No, you could do that to chase the trophies and stuff, but a lot of these games, like once I've played it sort of my way and played that story, I'm happy with that's the story that I sort of created for myself throughout that game.
Yep.
Which is why sometimes I find it hard to. I know you're probably going to disagree with this, but when I play the Hitman games, I play that game through like a single player game. I know you're supposed to replay levels, do different things, but I play that way through a certain way, and then I'll do that way. And then for me, it's real hard to get in my mind if I play that level again to be like, I'm going to play it differently.
Wow, that's hilarious, man. We have like the total opposite views of game worlds. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's real. It's hard. It's like, say, playing a Mass Effect. Like, I play it good the whole way through one time. I should play it bad the next time, and I just can't do it.
Isn't that funny? I found it really easy to switch back and forth. I don't know what that says about me as a person.
I don't know what it is, but I shouldn't like shit on Hitman 3 because I actually have gone back through and played levels over and over again. Like, I really love that mansion level, and I've played that through multiple times.
Have you?
Different ways you can kill the person in that.
Have you looked at the any of the 7 Deadly Sins stuff that they released, the DLC for it that came out during the Year 1 campaign?
No, I haven't actually, no.
Because that might actually work for you, man. They revamp the levels enough, they change enough that it's the same location, but it's clearly, the simulation is clearly set differently. I don't know if that would help or not, but I really enjoyed that 7 Deadly Sin, what do they call them, escalations? They've got the new escalations on all the maps and really enjoyable stuff, man. Maybe your ticket to get back in if you're looking for it.
No, okay, that's all right. It's not taking anything away from Hitman. The way I played it, I still give that game, 9.5 out of 10. So.
Sure. Such a good game.
Such a good game.
All right, best ongoing game. They gave 2 Final Fantasy. Fair enough. After last week's conversation, I think we justified it beautifully.
I think so too. I think this game is the one that started out terrible and just got better and better with age. It's good to see it beating Fortnite because Fortnite seems to take that every year. So, the question is Fortnite officially out yet, or is it still technically in beta?
I am pretty sure it's still in beta. I'm relatively confident it's still in beta. Yeah, it's an absolute joke at this point. Now, is this where the Gaming Enforcement Agency really needs to start deploying people?
I think we do.
Is this the sort of battle that we need to take arms up? Look, guys, it's not a beta. We're the Game Enforcement Agency, and we're here to tell you, take the sign down. It's not a beta.
It's not a beta. That game is well and truly out. You're about 400 seasons in. You've got every character that was ever a character in anything in the game.
You've made more money than every other officially released game ever combined. Stop calling yourselves a beta.
That's right. God, we're all over you, Fortnite. We know what you're trying to do.
You can't slip one by the Gaming Enforcement Agency.
That's right.
All right, then Game Awards gave Best Indie Game to Kenna Bridge Spirits. There it is.
There we go. I think we called that. I think we said it had to win that game for an indie game to come out and almost look like a first-party game with like multiple.
Be a serious contender for Game of the Year, Steve, up against the big AAA boys. It held its own. Hands down.
That's right. The only one who would have gone come close is probably Death's Door, which I know you haven't played. It has just come to PlayStation a few weeks ago. I played it on the Xbox. I don't think it was Game Pass, but Death's Door also an awesome game. But I couldn't see Kenna Bridge Spirits losing this one, and it didn't.
No, and it's such a AAA game. Just looking at that list, it doesn't belong in that list because of how good it is.
Exactly right. You don't play that game and go, "This was made by an indie studio."
No, any other year, I would look at that list and think 12 minutes would be the clear standout. Even though that game got me to a point of not wanting to play it because it upset me so much, I still think from like impact, high stakes, indie feel, like that game is best indie game from the old traditional indie feel. The fact that they can it with 12 people, boom.
Oh, amazing.
What? All right. Best indie game, best debut indie game, Bridge of Spirits, of course. Best mobile game, Genshin Impact. Now, I'll let that stand just because technically Diablo Immortals is in beta, limited release, doesn't count. But
That's right.
Woo, next year, I tell you, Diablo Immortal better be taking out that category.
I think it might be.
Game and a half, that one, unless everyone's still angry at Blizzard when it comes out. Who knows?
That's true.
Best community support, Final Fantasy XIV, if they say so. Best AR, VR. Oh, look, Steve, mentioned Hitman 3 we've already discussed tonight. Mentioned I Expect You to Die 2, already discussed tonight. Resident Evil 4, I don't think we discussed, though, but it did win.
It did win. I did say it would get the win as well. And when I'm in the studio, maybe I'll bring my headset in and give you a quick go of Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest 2.
Look out. That'll be. Oh, it's not called the Oculus Quest 2, though, anymore. They have to call it the Meta Quest 2, Steve.
The Meta Quest 2. On the Meta Quest store.
Sorry to correct you on the device that you own and I don't, but you're calling it the wrong thing.
Oh, sorry, mate. I'll correct it next time, all right?
All right. Innovation in accessibility. Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 5 wins it, but do we know why? What was the accessibility tweak that they won it for, I wonder? I didn't catch it.
I knew it wasn't for something specific. I think they just had the most accessibility options within the game. And
I see.
Yeah, so I know it had a lot in there. I've seen a few things on it, and it seems like a deserved winner, apparently. Like, I know Marvel's had quite a few things in there. Ratchet did too.
Well, if you remember in Far Cry 6, Steve, I stitched myself up beautifully with their accessibility controllers, thinking that there was a delay to crouch, if you recall that.
Oh, that's right.
That was me tying myself in a knot with their accessibility options. So it's innovative that Far Cry 6 added a delay to crouch if you set your controller up wrong like I did, but certainly not going to win the category.
No, not at all. And I just saw the next one. And finally, our game Returnal.
Best action game. Winner, Returnal. Yes.
Hey, there it is.
There's their makeup.
Sorry. Been nominees for Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's their makeup for not being nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
And people wonder why Sony didn't spend any marketing dollars on the Game Awards. I think you have your answer right there.
I mean, I could argue that, Returnal's not for everyone, and that, probably a handful of. Well, probably a handful. Well, I mean, the difficulty is up there, and you can see a lot of people falling off it pretty quick and not getting to enjoy it. Obviously,
but
even I can see.
Steve, it's the reward.
I know, but even me seeing how good it is, it really only came after the fact that you beat Bayern 3, and I'm like, no, Troy's not doing that. Well, I haven't done it, so I started playing it, and then almost probably missed out on one of my games of the year by not doing it. So I can see a lot of people probably got put off, but if you do give that game the time, it is an absolute cracker.
No, sure is. Then best action adventure game winner goes to Metroid Dread. I did not play it.
I did. It is good. I do like 2D sort of action platformers. The game got really hard, sort of where I'm up to at the moment, and a lot of other games sort of came out around the same time. So I probably will go back to it. It's a very pretty game on the Switch, and a lot of people are sort of talking this up as the best, if not one of the best Metroid games or 2D games that's come out in recent history. So probably a deserved winner. But in terms of looking at that list myself, I'd probably give it to maybe Ratchet and Clank as in terms of action adventure.
Yeah, I can tell. I still can't go past Guardians. Guardians for me unseated Ratchet and Clank for everything that I love Ratchet and Clank for, and I still love the game. Still an awesome game, but I think Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy did it a bit better. For my money.
Good. That's fair. I was just going to, there is a Ratchet and Clank. I mean, I felt the need to platinum Ratchet and Clank, but I don't quite feel the pull to go back and try and 100% Marvel's Guardians.
That's a great point, man.
It is mainly the structure of the game, though. Ratchet does allow you to sort of revisit those levels, and it does make it an easier sort of thing to do. But, I don't know. The Ratchet, I just didn't want to stop playing until I actually had 100% of everything. And just going back to that, Halo has already given me that sort of feeling. I've starting playing Halo, I'm like, I want to 100% this game.
Yeah, right. And are you going to guide it, or are you going to like, I want to find all the skulls myself?
God, dude, there's no way I'm finding those skulls by myself. I will 100% find everything else without a guide. These skulls, I've already pinned an article on IGN to help me find all of those when the time comes.
Now, Steve, is now the time that Xbox need to match the feature on the PlayStation and have those game information cards where you can pull up the tips, for the specifics of how to challenge a trophy?
To be honest, I don't think so. How much do you actually use that feature?
Well, yeah, good point. That's a good point. Not enough to justify its inclusion. Well played, sir. Best RPG, the winner was Tales of Arise. For my money, I would have given it to Cyberpunk 2077.
I probably would have too. I've gone back to Cyberpunk recently the last few weeks, and
what a game.
I'm really enjoying my time with Cyberpunk 2077. I think it copped a lot of hate when it came out. It was obviously people's, unrealistic expectations of the game. If you go back and play that game now, it is actually a very good first-person shooter action adventure RPG, and it does a lot of mechanics. The story is good. The side missions are good. The cars control much, much better now. The game looks very good and runs very well on current-gen consoles and PC. So I think it's probably earned maybe best RPG in the last year.
I agree, man. It really has pulled its socks up. Do you think that the PS5 release next year puts it in the running for next year, or is that technically a re-release and it won't be in contention?
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Potentially, if they do treat it as a new release, I'm not sure whether, looking at past games, whether it would actually meet the criteria to be able to get voted on as a new game. So,
well, I guess here's the question: did Skyrim earn any votes this year?
No, it didn't. Skyrim's come out every year for the past 25 years, hasn't it?
Yeah. It sure has. If Skyrim's not getting any votes, I think we can write off Cyberpunk for next year.
That's right. I'll just quickly mention Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, actually a very good Monster Hunter game, and I actually really enjoyed Monster Hunter Rise as well. So that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, cool, man. Cool. Best fighting game goes to Guilty Gear Survive. We're not big on the fighting games. As I said last week, I learned on the PS Glove, and it's I've never recovered.
And I'm just ashamed to say that Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl didn't get the win on that one.
Oh, look out. Did you
Ninja Turtles in it, Troy.
That's right. Yes. You've told me about that one. Yes.
Like Leonardo can fight SpongeBob. Need I say more?
No. A winner is them. Best family game. It Takes Two. Now, do we really think a game centered on divorce should win the title Best Family Game?
See, this one I do kind of disagree with. As good a game as it is, I wouldn't call it Best Family Game.
No.
Especially when you murder your child's elephant in the game. Spoilers.
Do you remember the opening boss battle, the first boss battle in the set? It's so horrific.
Yeah.
We're ripping the eyes out with its own arms. It's gross. It's not a family game.
It's definitely not a family game. I get sort of why they've done it. It's probably best co-op game, best game you can play with someone else.
Yes.
But I'd probably have to maybe give it to Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, which was an awesome game, and the Bowser's Fury alone was awesome in itself. But
wait a minute. Isn't Bowser's Fury the story of a divorced dad trying to get access to his kids? Or have I misinterpreted the box art?
No, I think you're spot on.
Sorry, a little bit deranged this evening. I should explain. It's ludicrously hot in the studio and I'm sweating a bit. My brain may have stopped working.
As long as the computer doesn't stop working, we're fine.
Yeah, I should have noted that at the top. If at any point the stream ends, it's because my computer overheated and went nuclear. Best sports / racing game. Forza Horizon 5. A winner is definitely you in that category. Well played, Forza. Playground games.
Well played.
Oh, my God, Steve, I've been playing more with my steering wheel this week, and that game continues to impress.
Good.
Best sim / strategy game, Age of Empires 5.
I haven't played it. I haven't played an Age of Empires for quite some time.
I'm just noticing the list here, Steve. They've missed Lawn Mowing Simulator. It's not on the list. How can they have a best strategy / sim game and not include a lawnmower game?
That's it. I'm done. I'm done with the Game Awards.
Moving on. Yeah, no, I think we're done. Best multiplayer game, It Takes Two. Content Creator of the Year is Dreams. Mate, I saw Dreams has gone for like $22 now on PlayStation, if you're interested. Esport athlete. Oh, look, we're into the esports. Let's move on, shall we?
Let's move on.
Next up, we have Alan Wake 2 officially announced, and it'll be Remedy's first survival horror game. How does that work? Didn't they make the first one, Steve?
They did make the first one. They call that one an action game, though. They're saying this is going to be a bit more survival horror, a bit more, slower paced. I don't know how it's going to work after they've just done Control, but I think it's going to lend itself to a very, very awesome survival horror experience. If they can, even I'm thinking about something like Evil Within or something, you don't have to go full survival horror, but if you can get some mechanics working nicely with that survival horror theme and the torch and the graphics we're going to be able to, punch out when this game comes out in 2023, I am really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. Oh, and I should note for the channel, we will be doing, it's on my list, it'll be on the channel shortly in the next couple of weeks, Alan Wake Remastered installed on the Xbox Series X from a physical copy. That's a request that will be facilitated in the next couple of weeks, but just while we're there.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've been going back and playing the remastered version of Alan Wake, and that game looks incredible, the remastered version. So think of what they could do with the story and the animation, and just, I can't wait to see where they take this game. And Remedy, I trust everything they do. They're currently working on another game, Crossfire X Campaign, which was a multiplayer game that I think Xbox is trying to bring out, which sort of, most people don't really like what they're doing with the multiplayer and stuff, but they've brought Remedy on to make the single player campaign for that game.
Yes.
But I mean, Remedy games, man, everything they do, I love. Like Control, one of my favorite games of all time. Alan Wake, one of my favorite games of all time. Third-person action shooting, and now they're moving into survival horror. Let's see what they can do.
I'm pumped, man. I just hope that they learn from the opening criticisms of Control and they just tighten up that intro experience a little bit. They just have a little bit of fat around the intros that I hope they trim off.
I think they will. I think, Alan Wake's a bit more probably heavily story-based than Control. Control left a lot of its story sort of in audio recordings and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
I think Alan Wake's going to be heavily sort of story-focused and stuff, so I'm really excited. Can't wait.
Do we know if they put in the Alan Wake remaster that came out this year, do we know if they put any undiscovered teasers for Alan Wake 2? Like now that Alan Wake 2 is official, no one spotted this in the remake.
They did put QR codes throughout the game that if you walk up to your TV and then scan with your phone, it's got Alan Wake, the actor himself, actually in a studio, and he's properly recorded stuff as Alan Wake, and it could allude to stuff in Alan Wake 2. So there's probably YouTube videos. Actually, no, I don't think there is YouTube videos anymore. I think the only way you can actually watch these things is to scan the QR code. I'm probably sure there's ways around that you can probably watch them without doing that. But
yes, Reddit would be a great place to look for it if you were after it.
There probably is. So, but I can't wait to see what they do with the story. And 2023 can't come fast enough now.
Now, 2023, how many months or years do we bet it's going to be delayed by? I'm going to earmark it as 2025 November.
No, I reckon we're going to see this late 2023. If they're sort of in development, Sam Lake's come out and sort of said a few more things about the game that makes me think it's been in development for a little bit now. So, I mean, Control was 2019?
18, I want to say. But yeah, right around there. I think 18. 18 jumps to mind.
I reckon it was 19 because God of War and Spider-Man were 2018, and then Control was winning games of the year in 2019 because there wasn't much else out that year. I
was about to start searching, and then I realised I'm transmitting my screen, and that probably isn't the wisest move. All right, that's Alan Wake 2. I'm excited, but I think it's a couple of years off. But you're right, Steve. The way they spoke about it on the Game Awards did suggest it had been cooked in development for some time. You're right. It did feel like it had been a ways along in development.
Yeah, but we'll wait and see.
That we shall. Story 3, Halo Infinite multiplayer to get Slayer, Festiva, Free-for-All, and SWAT playlists next week. Steve, is that going to be enough to get you past the single-player campaign and back into multiplayer?
Potentially. I did see this. I think it's Tuesday. It's probably Tuesday, America. It's probably Wednesday for us. We'll see this hit. And everyone was thinking and hoping it was going to happen when the campaign dropped last week, but it's only been a week, and they've managed to get these playlists. And then I've been really looking forward to being able to just jump into Slayer and just go and shoot things, and not having to worry about do all the other stuff and the objective based gameplay, and just get in there and worry about killing things. And the Fiesta mode I had lots of fun with when they had that the battle pass for that. So being able to play that again is going to be awesome. The free for all is good. The swap playlist is good with the battle rifle and headshot, one shot kills is good fun. So I think they're adding this at the right time. I haven't waited too long from the release of the campaign. Everyone's had sort of a week to sort of get their hands on the campaign. Most people probably have binged it and finished it by now. So I think it's perfect timing to sort of update their multiplayer, and I think that's going to keep most people happy.
That is a fantastic point, G.E.A, Steve. I hadn't even thought of it, but Halo hasn't missed a news beat in 4 weeks. I feel like there have been multiple things to talk about Halo every week. The marketing behind Halo is top notch. I'm loving it.
Oh, mate, and to drop that multiplayer early, to be honest, like if they had dropped that with campaign, I wouldn't be playing multiplayer at all. The fact they dropped it 4 weeks early, I've had 4 weeks with that game to fall in love with the multiplayer, and no one will be playing it after it. Whereas if I just played the campaign, I'd probably find it pretty hard to jump into multi, because probably everyone that's going to play multi may not play the campaign. By the time you're jumping into multiplayer, you're getting absolutely destroyed by people who've been playing it for 2-3 weeks before you. So
that's a great point you make, man. Yeah.
Now to bring the campaign out now and to update this, and then to know we've got, even though it's May next year, to have these, more maps coming and the co-op campaign coming and Forge mode coming. It's just, I think Halo's going to stay sort of, in the talk for quite some time, and I think that's going to sort of lend itself well to, getting through the year with a lot of people still playing this game.
That's right. We were saying earlier, will it be still in the conversation game of the year next year? If they can keep up this clip of enough changes and enough modifications, news stories on it, there's nothing stopping them. This might even be a masterclass in how to release a game. What's the chance, Steve, we see in future games like Call of Duty stealing Halo's implementation? Is there a chance next year's Call of Duty comes out as a staggered release, multiplayer followed by campaign sometime later, do you think?
Well, yeah, potentially. And I mean, the thing with Halo as well, they've come out and said that the map that they've got with Halo right now, they were looking at a Breath of the Wild style map, and apparently this is only 1/3 of the size of what it initially sort of was conceptualized at.
Wow.
So to think that they've probably got this stuff on the cutting room floor they could potentially use for DLC. You got new biomes coming in that can add stuff to the map. The world is their oyster. All next year you could possibly see campaign DLC release for this thing and add new biomes and snowy areas, beach areas to this map. And I think they've just got a really good sort of core game at the moment they can just add to. So
definitely,
mate, we could be looking at, it's easily my favorite. I'm going to say it's probably my favorite Halo game I've played in quite some time, if not my favorite Halo game of all time.
It's right up there, Steve. I hear what you're saying, man. I need to get into that campaign, but I'm right there with you, man. I know exactly what you're saying. My one question I wonder, Steve, with Halo Infinite, will Call of Duty keep on it? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm starting to really appreciate the idea originally behind Telltale Games' episodic content. The way I'm enjoying the Call of Duty campaign by just playing one mission at a time and thinking about the way Halo Infinite might want to stay in the news cycle moving forward. Could you imagine, okay, one mission a week's a bit much, but imagine if Halo did one mission a month, like just 12 more single-player campaign missions, one a month for the rest of the year. That would keep Halo Infinite top, front and center of the news story for the entire year. That could be amazing.
It would be amazing. It'd be going back to how the old Hitmans used to release, because they used to release quite a new level episodically as well, didn't they?
Yeah, man, they could. There's still, maybe there is some middle ground there. We sort of went all episodic and then all ran away from it. Maybe we need to explore that middle a bit more, and maybe Halo's going to do just that for us. Speaking of Halo, the TV series has been revealed. Excuse me, Steve, for the Halo TV series.
Yes, we've got our first look at Master Chief in the Halo TV series, and he's looking pretty good, if you don't mind me saying. I don't know if you've had the chance to check out the trailer yourself.
I have not. I'm frantically looking for the YouTube link. I can hit play, and it'll be nice and mute.
It looks relatively high budget. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, a lot of the stuff they're going to have to want to do in a Halo universe is going to have to be high budget just to sort of pull you in, because there's a lot of space stuff, and we're used to seeing high budget stuff. The new Star Trek shows that are out there are very good when it comes to their budget, and all your Netflix shows and all that kind of stuff have all the money to throw at it. So I'm not sure how much money they've got to throw at this show, especially when people expect a certain quality out of a franchise as big as Halo. But from looking at the trailer, I think they're sort of heading in the right direction. It just remains to be seen sort of where they can stick the landing or not.
Are you into these games as TV shows? Do you want like The Witcher on Netflix? Are you into any of those? I know there's a Castlevania.
Yeah, no, I love The Witcher, and The Witcher 2 is just out this week, I think, or something. Season 2.
Yeah.
But I don't mind them. It can be a little bit uncanny valley sometimes, seeing characters that you've played in video games all your lifetime to see them in a TV show all of a sudden. If it, especially when used to them looking a certain way. Obviously, with Master Chief, it's a bit easier because you're not looking at a character himself; you're looking at a suit of armor. So they can potentially. I'm not sure what the go is. I know they've got an actor for him, whether they're using his voice or whether they're using the guy from the game's voice, which they could easily do, which would sort of keep you in that ecosystem of knowing that is the Master Chief. But I'm quietly confident this could be kind of cool. Like, we'll see how it goes.
I'm disappointed we never got the Halo movie that was in pre-production.
Yes.
Well, I'm disappointed we never got it. So I don't know if my heart's quite healed enough to open up to a Master Chief TV series.
Oh, I know. I do worry a little bit about the budget and whether they've got enough to sort of pull off all the big sort of set pieces and stuff, and whether it's going to look right. But
that's a great point, man. Halo is iconic because of its large set pieces, and without a good budget, they are just not going to be able to pull it off.
Nah, that's right. And whether it centers on Master Chief enough as well, which apparently it's supposed to, which is what I'm really liking about the current game, Infinite, is it does sort of a little bit more personal story with Master Chief. He is a man of little words, but a man of little words, how is that going to carry a whole TV show? I don't know. Whether you get a lot more out of him, but and it's just he's usually used to just saying I need a weapon, and that's pretty much it. And then you go out there and it's you shooting grunts and elites for the next 4 hours without him sort of saying anything. I don't know how TV series works, but I'm intrigued to see how they pull it off.
And it'll be interesting to see if the grappling hook makes it into the TV show.
Oh, God, I hope it does, because it's one of the best implementations in Halo I have ever seen.
That could be very cool. What else we got? The 29 biggest announcement from the Game Awards, Steve. Are you ready for another quick list?
Let's go for a quick list.
Woo! Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Trailer looked good. It actually sort of dimmed my excitement for the game a little bit, just looking at it. I mean, I know it is Rockstar, and they're known for making the best Batman games, if not the best games out there when it comes to that genre of third-person action adventure. But, I don't know. They're doing shooting and stuff in this, which is different for them, and it looks pretty, and it gave me sort of Sunset Overdrive vibes, which, again, I love Sunset Overdrive, but this is a Suicide Squad game and Rocksteady, so I just don't know. Like, I was watching it, and I was a little bit bummed out, kind of, but I mean, it is a trailer. It's when's it coming out? Is it 2023 for that game, or is it still 2022?
No, slated for a 2022 release date. It's
okay. It is next year, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably play it. I'll probably love it, but I have heard that it does have multiplayer stuff, which does give me a little bit of pause, just knowing how Avengers turned out when it came to trying to implement sort of multiplayer in a single-player game. I do prefer these games to have a single-player aspect, so I'm just a little bit cautious about this one.
Fair enough, man. Here's just one quick note I'll do from the trailer of just freeze frame it, and I know you're not quite in sync with me, man, but I'll just point to everyone out there that the game developers have gimped the Android operating system.
Oh, I have.
On the side of the screen. I'm sure most gamers out there use iPhones, so I just like to point out when the Android gets a win. Suicide
Yes,
Squad.
I've got an Android, so I'll give it.
I love Androids. Androids for the win. All right, next up, Star Wars Eclipse. Or if you look at it as I did on a narrowed thumbnail, it looks like it's actually just called Star Wars Clips, and I thought they were just telling the story of Star Wars in like 9-second segments. Not the case.
No, not the case. And done by Quantic Dream, the Detroit Become Human Heavy Rain fame. So interesting to see what they can do with a
Jason.
So I don't know. Yoda.
Luke. I'm shutting down.
I don't know. I don't know. Did you like Detroit Become Human or?
Detroit Become Human is one that I started playing, absolutely loved, and thought I need to be in the right headspace for this. I need to be in a headspace in which I can concentrate for at least 10 consecutive minutes. So the game's only been out 2 years. I haven't gotten there yet, but at some point I'll get in that headspace and then I'll play it and enjoy it.
Yeah, so I mean, Star Wars game by these guys. I mean, there's been a bit of to and fro about the actual company itself and people not being happy working there. So we don't like to see that, but they generally do make pretty high quality games. They're not for everyone generally, but hopefully with the Star Wars franchise, they can do it justice.
Yeah, I hope so. Do we know, is there any other big details on it or just Quantic Dream? Do we know, what's his name? David Cage, is it?
Yeah, I believe
Is he directing it? Do we know, is he the director as he has been for their big games of past?
I would say he is. I don't know if they've actually said he is or not, but I'd have it a guess that he is, yeah.
If he is helming it, that's very exciting. But if it's somebody else in Quantic Dream, time will tell. I'll hold off judgment. But
that's right. I do like they are giving the Star Wars, franchise to all different developers of different types of games and creating different, stories throughout the Star Wars universe, and that is good. So you got the Jedi Fallen Orders, now you got something like this, which is different as well. So I do like what they're doing with that.
I'm all for it, man. Hey, I'd even love it if like an indie studio took on some sort of 8-bit Star Wars game of any, I would totally take Star Wars in any form they can give it to me. So
absolutely.
In principle, Quantic Dreams, I love their games. Like, yes, please. Bring it out soon. Then I was just confused by the Wonder Woman gameplay, I'll be honest. Did it make sense to you, the actual gameplay? Did you look at the minute-to-minute hook and go, that's the hook that I'll be there for?
I don't remember seeing any gameplay. I only saw the trailer where they showed off the character model.
Am I crazy? Did I not see what I thought I saw? Did we not see a battle sequence?
I only remember seeing just like a close-up of
I've got it
Wonder
rolling.
Woman herself.
I've got it rolling now. I don't know why in my head this ended on a battle scene. I don't know what two games I've conflated. I apologize.
All I know is this is made by Monolith Games, and they're the guys that are, they did Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Shadow of War, yeah.
Apparently, it's going to have some kind of
Nemesis system.
Nemesis system into this as well. I'm not sure how it's going to work, and I'm assuming we're getting a third-person action adventure game. That would be my bet.
Yes, it would be the bet, but I don't know. My gosh, I don't know why I was so sure this went into a big battle sequence. Anyway.
I don't remember seeing one. Am I right or not?
No. What I'm thinking has happened now is I think I must have watched another clip where somebody backed this up with the movie. I think I've conflated. I reckon somebody tagged the movie battle scene right on the end, and that's where I've lost myself. Anyway.
Yeah, they probably have.
The next one was Alan Wake 2. Now, we've already touched on Alan Wake 2 just a little bit, so we'll move along. Forspoken, Steve.
Yeah, this game looks cool. I quite like this. That is the one where she starts out in sort of everyday life, in the city, and then gets dragged into some like ethereal world with dragons and all that stuff. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are correct. It's got a bit of the what's really going on here. It feels a little bit Assassin's Creed, where you were going out and being Desmond.
Yes,
it had a bit of the sort of real world simulation world, which is which element to it.
Okay, cool. No, this game, it looks pretty. I can't wait. It's out, May 24 this year. So this game this year's going to be stuck. Yes. We've got to next year. Yeah, sorry, we're not in 2022 yet. I'm already living in the future, but it's just around the corner.
120 hertz monitor, you'd be forgiven for living in the future, mate.
I'm in the future. I'm literally staring at us right now, and we look magnificent.
Perfect. Then we have the magnificent-looking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I didn't see this one. What can you tell me about it? Did you see anything on it?
I can't tell you anything about it other than that the films are really gory, and if it's anything like the films, you're in for a gory game.
Ah, beautiful.
It's the trailer doesn't give us a whole lot. I don't know. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're into horror, maybe. And then I would argue this was the biggest announcement.
Agreed.
Hellblade 2, fighting a big giant thing that just looked phenomenally cool, very intense, and made me want to play number one. I know you've played number one, Steve. Can you give me any comparisons? How did this look?
I have finished number one, and number one is amazing. Like, if you want something to show off 3D audio and just absolutely mess with your head, play that game with headphones on, because it's an absolutely unreal experience.
And so, duration of game?
It's a shortish game, I reckon, between 5-7 hours.
Okay, cool.
But looking at Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, this trailer went for like 6 minutes, a mixture of gameplay and cutscene, but it was effortlessly blended where you couldn't even tell the difference at most times, which was which.
Good.
Like, you've got to look closely, but I'm pretty sure when you're sort of running and then there's a guy, holding a stake and putting it in the ground that you run past and you've got to throw it at this giant. I think that's gameplay. But like this thing is absolutely ridiculously good looking. Like we thought Matrix would look good as well. This is a game that's coming out this year and it's already looking this good. So I can't wait to see, what this game does, whether it's longer than the first one, which I'm assuming it will be, and what they do with the themes from the first game as well. I can't wait.
It looks phenomenal. I'm hearing nothing but good things. I really have to carve out some time for the first iteration. Halo, the TV show, we've already discussed. Elden Ring, of course, more Elden Ring. I'm still stoked for it. No real news as such, other than that it's exciting and looks cool.
That's right, it does, and it continues to look cool, and I can't wait for it.
Indeed. Let's hope they don't push it back at all. I'm still nervous that they're going to push it.
Me too.
Then we have Sonic 2. I'm assuming this is about the movie Sonic 2, is it not? Sonic Team. No, this is an actual Sonic Team. Sonic Frontiers is an actual game. My apologies.
Looking like an open world Sonic. Everyone's got the Breath of the Wild flavor with them at the moment. They want to do what Breath of the Wild did, so it looks like Sonic's going that similar route with an open world, semi-open world game. So Sonic's one of those things that it's never really like. I feel like Sonic's good in theory and good in other mediums. I just don't enjoy playing Sonic games.
I don't know. I'm a fan of Sonic, the old Sonic games. I still get into them, man. But I hear what you're saying. They can be a little bit dated if they haven't updated the mechanics.
It's just something about going fast and just you feel like you're always missing something. Even though I know that's the point. There's different runs you can do, but again, we've already talked about what I like with runs and games. I'll do it once and I'm done. So
yeah,
I don't know. An open world Sonic could actually work for me. I really enjoyed the movie that came out a couple of years ago now, and I can't wait for the sequel, which they showed off the trailer for as well.
Yes, how good was that? And the Jim Carrey cameo. I was crying laughing at Jim Carrey's appearance in the Game Awards. That was brilliant.
I did go back and watch that after your message to me. It was hilarious.
So good. Then we've got Slitterhead. That's right, Slitterhead. Sounds vaguely offensive.
It really does, and it's looking like it's harkening back to your Silent Hill style of horror games. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people that are going to play that. I'll probably play it. Let's be honest.
Oh, I'll definitely give it a look in, and it's so horrific. Part of me, they've said nothing about this, but part of me wishes it was announced for VR because it just looks that offensive.
Oh, it does.
I think that could be a real VR treat. Then we've got The Lord of the Rings Gollum.
I didn't see any of this. I'm assuming it's a third-person game where you play as Gollum.
I didn't see any of it either, man. This is the first time I'm seeing this trailer. I can't say at one point during the 36 hours of the film sixology that there is in existence, at not one point did I think, man, it'd be cool to play as Gollum in a video game. I'm not sure what the appeal is as a character.
Apparently you play as Smeagol as well. I'm like, well, it's probably not two of the characters I'd want to play a whole video game as, to be honest.
No, it's an odd choice, but okay. No worries.
Well, give me a Legolas game, but definitely not a Gollum game.
Next, they'll be pitching a James Bond movie in which you just follow the Bond chick around and not Bond himself. That'd be a weird film, and I don't see how anyone would enjoy it, but, that could be on the cards. Then we've got Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. We discussed that already. I'm excited by it. My one question, Steve, why isn't this just DLC for Borderlands 3? Has that been explained?
That's a good question because I know there was a Tiny Tina expansion that they did do, which I know you can get for like real cheap, like $10 or something on the Xbox store. You can play just that standalone copy of the game, which I didn't play. But I don't know. I mean, if the game's long and decent, I don't see why it can't be a standalone game. But
for me, it feels like the game industry is moving more to your longer running games, like Assassin's Creed, Valhalla, now we're supporting it with year 2 content. It would seem to me, what's their name? Gearbox Software would be more in step with the rest of the industry if they just announced that Teeny Tiny Wonderlands was actually part of the year 2 DLC plan for Borderlands 3. Doesn't that seem like it would be more?
I'll kind of counter argument here in the fact that you've got smaller things like the Uncharted. How you had the Uncharted Lost Legacy came out, which is a smaller thing. You've recently had Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and so
that's a good point.
2, but it's a smaller version. But I think doing that brands it well as a new game. So if they try to toast the Borderlands 3, most people might say it's an older game and like, oh, if it's just expansion, I should have played Borderlands 3. But if they market it as a brand new game, then you're probably going to get more, people playing the game. That's just my thought anyway.
That's a great point you raised, man. That is a great point. I fully concede the point on that. I reckon you've nailed it. All right. Then next up, we have Among Us coming to VR, Steve. It's not even out, as I understand, on the consoles yet, but the VR's been announced.
No, I think it comes out this week, potentially, which we'll find out soon on the PlayStations and Xboxes. So,
That we shall. Keep your eyes peeled. Star Trek Resurgence. Now, Star Trek in any form is yet to strike with me my entire life, so I don't think Resurgence is going to be the way in. Did it do anything for you, Steve?
No, the only Star Treks I've liked were the recent movies they did.
The Abrams ones. You're right. He did a couple of good ones. Yeah,
I like those, but that's about the only Star Trek I have enjoyed.
Fair play, Steve. I'll update mine to match yours. Then we have Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders.
Don't know anything about this one.
Don't know anything about it. Sounds like it should be something to do with Nikola Tesla. Then we have new creator state music from Riot Games. I don't know. Matrix rumblings. I reckon we've seen all the good articles. We're going to move on. The next news story is an Assassin's Creed Valhalla special announcement is being teased for Monday, Steve. Tell me all about it. Creed Valhalla. Big tease.
Because we needed more of it.
Well, as we were just saying, man, it's the ongoing living games. I'm a big fan of it. I say let's do it. So
there's a lot of content in this game. If you enjoy Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there's a lot of content for you, but it's just the fact that there is so much of it.
There is so much. And the one big thing we'll note here, look at this. I'll make sure it's up on screen there. I'll even highlight it. Here's the big takeaway from this story, I should say. So this will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla 1.4.1 patch. And note that you have to download the entire game again. So it's a patch, but even if you own it digitally, you're downloading a full thing again. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked. It's over 100 gigs, though. I'm pretty sure, Steve. Do you know?
Yeah, I think so, because I actually had a recent patch recently where it wanted me to re-download the whole game. It was, I think, 135 gigs it wanted me to install. Instead of doing that, I deleted the game off my console.
There it is, people. If you're still enjoying Assassin's Creed, fantastic. I hope you got the bandwidth to support it. But if you're not and it's still sitting on your console, maybe delete it before you pull down another 140-odd gigs.
Damn straight. No one's got the time or space for that.
No, that would be crazy. I wonder if we need to do a new Let's Install for the channel, possibly now. Finishing out the week's news, as we always do, we go to Game Informer and we look at the upcoming releases for the week. Steve, we're starting off with Shovel Knight, Pocket Dungeon, coming to PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Now, if it's a Pocket Dungeon, dare I suggest it's a port of a portable game?
Potentially. I really like Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight's an amazing game if you haven't already played it and you like your 2D action platformers. One of the best out there. So, I won't play it now, but I did play it back in the day.
Shovel Knight, Pocket Dungeon, if you're into it, it's available. Will be, December 13, tomorrow. And then, as we were just discussing, Among Us comes finally to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, December 14. Among Us scored an 8.5, and if you've got young kids, I can tell you they're going to get a lot of value out of it. My big question, Steve, as always, is it coming to Game Pass? I think it is.
I was going to ask that same question. If it is, I'll probably pick it up because my little fellow, even though he's never played it, seems to know all about it thanks to YouTube. We even did an elf on the shelf just the other night that involved the elf getting murdered by the other elf with all the other Among Us characters in there. It was quite brutal, was quite creative. So, so maybe I'll actually have to check this game out and see what it's all about.
Nice one. As I understand it, it's a lying simulator game. It teaches you how to lie beautifully.
Perfect for children.
Yeah, fantastic kids game. The next one up, the Smurfs Mission Village Smurftastic Edition, coming to the PlayStation 5 on December 14. I know nothing. Steve?
Nothing. I believe this was on coming soon lists a few weeks ago we had. Maybe it was for Xbox and Switch, but...
yes, indeed. Coming to PlayStation 5 now. No, neither do I. And then Alien Isolation, the game that came out, I believe, in 2018. It looks like it's hitting iOS and Android December 16 this year, 2021.
Yeah, strange that this game's on iOS. I just downloaded it recently, probably a few months back now, actually, if I think about it, on the Xbox, because I think it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, I reckon the games with gold, maybe.
Yeah, and it's enjoyable, and a lot of people sort of swear by it, saying it's a really good Aliens game. But today you sent me a text message about another game that's coming to Game Pass, which is not on this list, but it's another Aliens game, and that is far more fun.
Yes, well, it's it must already be out, but what is it called? Aliens Fire Team, something I want to say?
Fire Team, yeah.
Is it just Fire Team? Oh gosh, I'm gonna have
I think it's just Alien. I think it's just Alien Fire Team.
I'm quickly
Fire
diving.
Team Elite.
Fire Team Elite, there it is. Fire Team Elite. Yes, that comes to Game Pass, I believe, in 2 days' time. So keep your eyes on the channel. We'll certainly be installing that one. Then Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate coming to PC on December 16th. So that's the Yuffie DLC included in the PC build.
That's right. All you nerds out there with your Excel spreadsheets can finally play Final Fantasy VII Remake on your PC.
Perfect. And then we have Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, coming to the PlayStation 5. Now, the reason I want to hang a lantern on this one, Steve, if you recall, on the first original reveal of the games coming to the PlayStation 5, I'm talking about press conferences from about 2 years ago at this point. They were talking up Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach as a launch game for the PlayStation 5.
They were.
Here we are, over a year later, past launch. It's finally coming out. I assume there's no bugs in it at this time.
No, you wouldn't have thought so. It's got the Halo treatment. They've just cooked it perfectly, and they're going to release it now in Game of the Year next year. There you go.
There you have it. You heard it here first. And then finally, the Gunk coming to Xbox Series X and X, PlayStation 1, PC on December 16th. And I can tell you with certainty that this is coming to Xbox Game Pass day and date. So on December 16 or 17 here in Australia, look at the channel. We'll have the Let's Install up for that one as well. That's right, the Gunk.
Yeah, this one looks kind of cool. It's like a sort of third-person adventure-y game where you suck up gunk and stuff with your gun. You're on a planet. So, yeah, it could be kind of cool.
Could be kind of cool. Keep your eyes on the channel. We could be kind of covering it later in the week. Now, Steve, as we finish the show, as always, we throw it over to the audience for any comments and questions they have. Have you got anything for us from the YouTube chat, my friend?
Let me have a look. We've got Sean Games in there. He's been there most of the night. He says he's going to see Spider-Man No Way Home on Thursday, but not at midnight. Perfect. Going to see it at 9:50. Beautiful, mate. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. I'm going to see it Saturday night, so we had a chat to you about it.
Exciting.
What's he done? He's also says he strained his muscles between his rib cage on his left side of the body, going to take 4 to 6 weeks to heal. That doesn't sound great.
That's no good. On the left side of his body, do we think he was reaching for a controller, maybe?
No, most likely, or he was reaching for his completely destroyed Blu-ray copy of Mamma Mia to watch it for his 400th time. Yep, so his ribs have finally given way for that one. So. But that's it for the chat and questions. All he says is, how are we? And we are great.
We are indeed great. Sean, thank you very much for your contributions, mate. Always a pleasure here on the channel. You're welcome to be here with us. That goes for anybody out there. Join us live Monday nights, 8 p.m.-ish for this here Game Enforcement Agency. Steve, mate, thank you for another gripping week of coverage, mate. You've done a brilliant job.
My pleasure, mate. Unky Dunky signing off duty.
Beautiful work. Thank you very much, Steve. Troy is also off duty for the Gaming Enforcement Agency. Like it, subscribe it. You'll never miss it. Where is my little end button?